Alright, hello everybody. Got a video today. So today is going to be a video on things that I don't necessarily, things that annoy me, because all these videos you see on YouTube about this, things that I hate about my blank, they are always start off with like, I don't hate them. So I'm gonna just skip that entirely. So this is a video about things that just kind of bug me, or things that I think Volkswagen could have done better. Obviously, they're a company, so they gotta make, decisions here and there, but if you're in the market for one, you're thinking about it, you're not sure yet, maybe this video will either sway your opinion either way. So, we're gonna start with the engine bay, then we'll move to kind of the exterior things that I kind of bug me or I don't like about it, and then go to the interior. And disclaimer, this is things that are about my personal Jetta. Things are mixed in here as well, but there's also some things just about the Jetta itself. So first thing with the engine bay, and if you've seen my mod list video you would know, but there used to be a hood prop that came right here because the Jetta never came with a hood prop. The GTI did, but the Jetta didn't. Why? Could not possibly tell you. So I got this hood strut that's kind of replaces the hood prop. It's probably the best $80 I've spent on this car. It's awesome. So that is one thing that's kind of annoying. Another thing, believe it or not, that the Jetta GLI has a different turbo than the GTI. The GLI's turbo is made by Honeywell, whereas I think the GTI's is made by IHI, or I'm not totally sure, not totally educated on it. So, but this turbo is just slightly smaller. So when you look at stage 2 number comparisons, that's why the Jetta reads lower than the Golf. Also, the transmission in the Jetta is a little bit different than the GTI's as well. The Jetta's gear ratios are a little bit taller. So for example, you cruise at like 80 on the highway. In the Jetta, you cruise at like 2,500 RPM. And in the GTI, you cruise at about 3,200. Now that's much more fun for twisties, but not as fun on the highway, and vice versa for the Jetta. And one more thing about the Jetta and the GTI, so this is kind of more for just the platform, is that because this is a 6-speed car, the clutches on these are basically only made to handle the power it makes, which is 200 horsepower. And with it being such a tunable car, it's really frustrating the fact that you can't go flash this or something like that and get a bunch more power out of it without having to pull the transmission off and upgrade the clutch. So moving on to the exterior, there's really not a whole lot I dislike about the exterior. I think it's pretty sharp, it's pretty tame, it's a good looking car. But I really wish that Volkswagen would have given the Jetta a dual exhaust like the GTI has. Now, the dual exit is cool. I'd like to have that versus single exit, but I think they could have done something really cool if we could either have a quad tip or a dual exit exhaust. Alright, I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but that's the only thing I can come up with at the moment that I dislike about the exterior. So, we'll move on to the interior. So, the interior is a pretty nice place to be. However, with it being a compact car, you get some takeaways. So storage really isn't great other than the trunk. The trunk's pretty nice and large, but the only storage you really get is this cubby, which holds a water bottle here. You get a little cubby up there that could probably hold a phone, and then the armrest is just not, the center console here is just not, it's not very large. You get 2 cup holders, which is super great, and then same storage back there and in the back doors. So storage, as far as like compartments in the interior, not super great, but it's one of the things you have to remember with this being an economy slash compact sedan. Another thing I don't necessarily like is I really wish that this came with the plaid seats from the GTI. Even though those are cloth and these are leather, which is nice, I love the plaid seats that come in those. I think they are so cool. Wish they had them in here, but unfortunately I would get some of the GTI seats, but I couldn't match the back seats, and I don't like that look. So when it comes to the back seats of a Jetta, the seat space really isn't terrible. I have the driver's seat where I usually have it, pretty lean back. I'm 6 foot. These are where my legs sit. Now the one thing, kind of weird, you can, if you got like kids back here, they can just unlock and lock the doors whenever they want. It's nice to have an outlet, that's cool, but this cubby, in my opinion, should be replaced with at least one vent, because there's absolutely no vents that come to the rear seats. And so the few times that I have rear passengers, you have to just blast those 2 vents up there in order to get them any air, because otherwise there's no airflow. So that's all I can think of at the moment for this. So those are just some things that bug me about the MK6 Jetta GLI platform, and a little bit with mine in particular. So if you have any questions, as always, I do my best to answer all comments. If you have any questions about it, need some advice about something, feel free to let me know. With that being said, thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good night.